Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about okay, like people's beliefs and stuff about abortion and stuff like that, whether it's okay, not okay. And I just say it's kind of like a personal choice, and it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. But this is what I learned about it. If you think about it, there's the little boy, Heaven is for real. His mom had a miscarriage, and the baby was in heaven. Okay. Well, I was going to tell you that life starts at conception. Life starts at conception. And this is, so I had, okay, so like when I first started going through my spiritual battles, the stuff that I was, stuff that I had to overcome in the spirit. And I have a whole story on that too. I'm not ready to share it, but I'll get to it because it's a huge story. It's going to be in a book too. I don't know if I'll share everything yet. But, okay, so I played with this pendulum, and I ended up getting these spirits attacking me, but I was also trying to talk to the angels, and then, like, a spirit said to me, I had someone that I had an extra relative in heaven that I didn't know about. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, of course, we have lots of relatives in heaven, right? So, they were like, they told me who it was, and I went and I asked the person, and they said that they had like a missed abortion or something, and I went and asked the person, and they said, yeah, I had an abortion, and they told me to stop listening to the gospel spirits. I was like, whoa, but I was also talking to angels, like not just on the pendulum, but like in my head, and so they told me, so I don't know, messenger or not messenger, who the messenger was, if it was a good angel or if it was a bad spirit picking on me or what. But I was like, whoa. But the person said, yeah, they're up there. And they told me, they're like, well, what do you think I named him? And I was like, it just popped into my head, Sarah. I named her Sarah. I was like, cool. And then with mine, okay, so what I went through was I took a Plan B pill, and I don't like really pick on people about Plan B because it's really I don't know, it's like I think it would be better to use Plan B than it would to go through an entire ordeal with an abortion clinic, just flushing the egg out. It's like flushing the egg out. But the Catholic Church and a lot of Protestant churches do not approve of that either. And so what I saw was I was seeing this guy, and I didn't think that he would want me to be pregnant, so I went and took a Plan B pill. Now, I don't really know how accurate this is, but I like saw eventually, like I put the Bible in my head. I was laying in bed and I put the Bible in my head, and I saw a vision of a kid running around in heaven. I was like, who is that? And really later, like a few years later, after me and the guy broke up and everything, and so I was like, I think that was from my Plan B pill, because life starts at conception. I was like, oh, but I don't know, but I'm pregnant now, and it's a little girl. So I was like, maybe that also could have been me getting a vision of my future child. So, or maybe it's a little bit of both, because I heard that sometimes if you accidentally abort a baby, they might come back, because they want to live with their parent that they picked and their families. So yeah, sometimes they come back, like they're like, they want to fulfill their calling and covenant with them and stuff like that, the people. So anyways, I was like, that's really cool. But you never know. I might have just been seeing a vision of what was going to be for me. So I did see a vision of a little girl. I like lay in bed, I put the Bible like right on my head, and then this vision flashed for me. A little girl was playing in the sun with flowers, and or like the glory, which looked like the sun, the gold light, and she had all these little flowers right around flowers, and she looked like me. And no, this is what was weird. It kind of reminds me of one of the Marian pictures, one of the Marian paintings, like long blonde hair, like bright blonde hair, and so she reminded me of one of the guy that I dated at the time, his mom, like the blonde. So I don't know, but I just remember this little blonde little girl up in heaven. So I don't know if it was her or not. But yeah, so it must have been, it looked like that was probably that. So anyways, very fun. And that she's up there, but I heard that sometimes if the baby doesn't get born, they will try to get birth again, sometimes with the same people. So I was just like, I'm not like anti-abortion, I'm not like gonna pick on people who get abortions or anything, but I'm definitely pro-life. Like, I'm like, y'all don't want to test it, because this is what the father said to me. I was like, okay, because I was using contraception and I joined the Catholic Church, and he was like, okay, so you're playing around with fate with this contraception, and when you're gonna get pregnant, you've been with your spouse for 3 years and you guys have been playing with y'all been playing with fate, and in regards to contraception. And so I was like, he was like, how do you know you're not past your time to have babies? And how do you know that you didn't miss, your opportunity? And I'm in my older years, and he's saying that to me that I'm 36, and I'm like, I don't know. I went and got that removed as soon as I heard that, my contraception. I ran out the door and got that removed. But now I'm pregnant, so I'm really happy. It's a really great gift. And so yeah, but yeah, I was just like, don't play around with that stuff, and make sure that you wait until marriage before you start laying with men. If you're young, goodness gracious, it's worth it to keep your sanctity. And honestly, I was like watching all these people. It's not even a bad idea to do courting, or like let your family in on who you're dating before you start dating them. Like, when they used to do arranged marriages, well, I was watching these different arranged marriages. Well, the only difference is they meet everyone first. Like, they have a matchmaker. The matchmaker picks out the dudes that don't have anything weird on their background checks, and then they go and they meet the family, and then they go on little dates. They don't sleep together, they stay abstinent. If they like the dude, they marry him. They court for a while, and then they get married and stuff like that. So it's the same, literally the same as dating. So it's not like this big scary thing like parents arranged this, said that I had to marry this person. I don't know, I think they did used to do that stuff back then, but like modern day arranged marriages are totally different. But I'm not even opposed to that. But I know that's like really old fashioned. And I was watching the Jewish matchmaking. I think it was like Hindu matchmaking and Jewish matchmaking. I was like, different shows on it. I was like, that's really cool. But I don't know. I would say at least let your parents in on who you're dating before you go in on anything, or whoever is your closest elder. Okay. I was just thinking about that because, so yeah, but, yeah, I think it brings more peace to your family life a lot of times, but not always. So, but yeah, nothing can stop what the Father has ordained is what died in heaven told me. And what's really beautiful is I know the Father ordained my relationship. This is how I know this, because when I got my baby picture, the first picture of the baby, they call it my ring picture. And my dad, he said, some stars shine the brightest. Some of the smallest stars shine the brightest. And Justin proposed to me with this tiny, this first engagement ring right here. This tiny little diamond is my first engagement ring. And this is the final one, which is like family heirloom. And this is my parents got for us. And this one that's my wedding one. And this one is this tiny diamond right here. She looks just like the picture. Was it her holding a ring? It looked like, well, not her holding a ring, but it looked like the ring, and it's her, like the little baby, and she's the shape of the ring, with a tiny diamond, a symbol of the promise. And so I thought that was so awesome, and so I know that me and my husband are ready. I also know because I just started seeing like Bible synchronicities line up and stuff. Like some people get an Esther anointing, like they have like different anointings. Like someone might get an Esther anointing. Some people might get like, and they just start walking out that sort of anointing. Sometimes some people get a Samson anointing and they start walking out the story of Samson. Like, I have a friend named Tyler, you know, he's not literally Samson, right? But he literally walked out the story of Samson. Like, he dated a woman, he went blind. Oh no, he dated a woman who tried to kill him. He's in jail right now because she tricked him and he went blind. And there's a lot to the story, but he's in jail for life now because of her, and he went blind while he was in jail. I was like, whoa, he's just walking through Samson. So some people have anointings like that. So you know, sometimes the Father just gives you that so you can learn the Bible story too. Like, but I just started seeing synchronicities with me and Justin and the story of Isaac and Rebecca, or Yitzhak and Rivka. So we just thought, we think it's really cool, really fun. So we're like, well, this is if Yitzhak and Rivka have a baby girl. So Yitzhak and Rivka 2.0 have a baby girl, I guess. So it's so cute. I mean, it could be a boy, but we did a gender reveal, and it's a girl. So far, but it was really old, like really premature picture. So I don't know. We're gonna do a gender reveal tomorrow. I hope we have it right. So, but yeah, she's super cute. And the family's really excited about it. And what was I gonna tell you guys? Well, we just saw like really big synchronicities. Like, it's not even little synchronicities. Like, we're named after them. This is what I mean. Okay, so we're named after them. Like, Rebecca and Justin's name means Isaac. We lived in a tent in Georgia, and then we're pregnant with our first baby. And what Daddy in heaven did is, like, probably I might not have more than one baby. I might have more than one. I'm supposed to. That was prophesied threefold to give birth to a boy too. But so I'm really hoping, for the best scenarios around here. But then we lived in a tent in Georgia, USA, on the opposite side of the world where they're from. But so we're like, all right, we're USA, Rebecca and Isaac 2.0, and this is if they had a girl, like kind of like we see. It's just really funny. So so yeah, we lived in a military tent in Georgia, tent dwellers. We got married in it. Like, we called our justice of the peace. And she's like, oh, I already buried you guys. We're like, ooh, we're gonna get married in the tent. So we got married outside the tent. Really, first we got married outside the tent. We did a prayer before 2 witnesses, and then and his mom lived in the tent with us, and she's still alive, so we had some big synchronicities, and it was just teaching us the Bible story. And I learned some new stuff about Esau versus Jacob, which I thought was amazing, that I never thought about because of stuff that people would preach to me about it, you see. Versus like Jacob and Esau became friends in the end. The blessing that Isaac poured out on Jacob, the reason they were so upset is that wasn't just anything that he was passing down. That was his sweat and blood that he was pouring out on the land, working the land, and making sure that he had an inheritance set aside for generations and generations and generations. And then Jacob ran up with Rebecca, stole that inheritance, and that's why. And Esau and Isaac were crying, and I never noticed that part of the Bible where they were weeping. Now what's really interesting too, which I thought this is wild, and this is what's amazing too, is Daddy in heaven still blessed Israel above Esau, it looks like. Well, of course, like, he has a whole nation named Israel, right? Even present today. And everyone wants to call themselves by Israel's name, you see? And everyone wants to be one with Israel. And even heaven is for real. Heaven is real, okay? So, like, everyone's one with Israel. And but if you look at the blessing situation, Esau didn't, okay, they said the curse of Esau was Esau ended up with the entire inheritance that he was originally supposed to be blessed with. Because Jacob went out to meet his wives and work the land, because the blessing for Esau was that he would have to start from the ground up and work from the land and then eventually get what he wanted there. Well, it actually, they switched blessings on accident. It switched blessings. The blessings switched back, is what I noticed, because Jacob had to work from the ground up the land, and Esau was living with his parents and doing all the, and growing up with all the inheritance that they originally planned to give him and Jacob. So really, the blessings got switched. But Jacob got blessed above all nations. And Rebecca laid her life down for Jacob, because she said she knew that Esau was going to try to kill Jacob. She said Esau was going to try to kill Jacob. She warned Jacob and said, you need to go on out lest I lose both of you in a day. That means Rebecca really loved Esau too. She didn't want to lose her both sons in a day, you know. She's like, lest I, you know. And she loved her sons. And despite her, you know, antics to get him the blessing, you know. And she said, if Isaac curses you, let it be on me, not you. Okay, so she was laying her life down. She was laying her life down for Jacob. Like, okay, because like Rachel, Laban cursed Rachel, and Rachel passed away. He said, a curse on anyone who stole my gods, or Tephilim, and Rachel had them, and then the Rachel girl passed away. Or Jacob's wife Rachel passed away, and then you know, so Rebecca, knowing that that's how severe of a curse it could have been, she ended up saying, well, if he curses you, let that curse be upon me. You see, so I was like, that's really brave. And so, you know, and Isaac was like a figure of Christ, and Isaac was also a figure of Christ, because he was one of the first. He almost got crucified by his own dad for the Father in heaven, and he never cursed her. He never cursed Jacob. He only blessed both boys. You know, after he felt persecuted by his wife and Jacob, and he didn't curse them, you see. So I was like, that's really cool. And so they both kind of represent a Christ in the situation, both Isaac and Rebecca. And so yeah, I just was really impressed with that testimony. Yeah. And then what else was I going to show you guys? I don't really know what else to share with you guys. I mean, I hope that you're all blessed and not stressed and enjoying the God's rest. It's almost time for Sabbath and lighting candles. So hope you have a great Shabbat Shalom. Good talk. And don't and pray about every decision, okay? Don't just jump into stuff, but with every decision, as far as like conception and stuff goes, pray about everything. I think they set that standard because you're supposed to know your right from your left. They give you a foundation, a standard, okay? So I'm not condemning anyone for breaking any standards, but if they say a standard, you know, because like I'm still learning about this stuff too. Like, for example, okay, let's say you have a mentally ill child and wants to get married. Well, the mentally ill child gets married under y'all's roof. Would you put conception? Would you give that child conception so they couldn't bear children? You know, like, would that be a sin? Because, like, let's say they have or would that be righteous? You see, I just had that question, you know, because if you have a mentally ill child who cannot have kids, what do? You know, but they want to get married. Let's say they find a partner, or you allow them to have a partner. You know, like say you have someone with heavy autism or Down syndrome or something like that, and they want to get married. What do you tell them? You know, so some parents are like, they just straight up tell them you can't date. You're not. So what I was looking at is like a lot of times there's like a question about contraception and what's allowed in regards to contraception. Let's say you have like a mentally ill child, like they have autism, or they're on the spectrum, or they're just like they might have Down syndrome, and the parents will have to decide, am I going to let my child date? or not date. And then some parents, so like I have a family member, my family member would tell me, you need to get some form of contraception, okay? Instead of trying to reproduce, because you would need more help than most people, okay? And I was wondering what the Father in heaven would think about that. Because like people, and it's everyone's like personal decision and everything. But I have family, they're autistic, so they are allowed to date. They're allowed to date. They're somewhat married, but they have a covering, a parental covering right now. And they try to help delegate that stuff for them. But they said he's not really allowed to get married, and I don't know. So it's like kind of interesting. And they were advised not to procreate. You see, the couple. So that because he's dating, that he was advised not to. And that might hurt them a little. Like if you have like a kid that's autistic or someone with Down syndrome, that might. So it's like the guardian would have to kind of decide, do I take another person under my wing in union with another family, so it's all like personal, I guess. But like, what would that, I guess that's my question for the church and for the Catholic Church. Like, what would you guys tell us to do, if we had a family member? What is protocol with that? And I know abstinence is best, but I don't know, I just felt so bad. Like one of my one little girl came up to me. She was like she's autistic, and she said to me, I want to get married. Like I want to be a princess and I want to get married. And I was like, oh, you should marry Daddy in heaven. Don't worry about boys. Marry Daddy in heaven. And she was like, no, I'm gonna get a boyfriend. I was like, okay. So it's not my place to tell her anything anyway. So. But I was just thinking about that, because so I just had that question after that, like what would the church tell them to do? Because in the Catholic Church they probably would be like, might promote, what is it called, like consecrated bride or something. Was it called a consecrated bride, or something like that? Like there's different vocations and stuff. Even I'm like, that'd be cool. Even and I don't know, here's an idea, like what if you guys did, like if you're Catholic or Episcopal or Lutheran, what if you guys did like a consecrated bride program for people who have mental challenges? I'm like, that would be really beautiful. And just like a program, if someone could lead it. And my patron is St. Clair, so sometimes I get these cool ideas. Like I was like, what about this idea, like sisterhood for our families? It's like, okay, like familyhood, it's like sisterhood, but it's like familyhood. Where you would have like prayer meetings with people who are, it's like a sisterhood, but it's family, so it's like family oriented, but it would be like husband and wife only. Deep contemplated prayer. Could even be cloistered living for small families, like thinking like my patron St. Clair, dedicating a life to the Father in poverty and stuff like that, or helping the impoverished, even depending on vocation. Like these are cool ideas, so I just wanted to kind of put that out into the world for the church, because I don't know what I'm gonna, what I would be able to accomplish as one person, but I have these cool ideas. So anyways, I don't know. I really promote that idea, the consecrated virgin ideas for the people who have mental challenges, and like autism or Down syndrome, or and like different ones, like just people who need and we'll have like high elect nuns to run those in league with them, like run those group sessions, run or whatever is involved in that. So yeah, all right. And they would just be an image of the bride of Christ for the people. True love, purity, and righteousness. So but yeah, so y'all let me know what you think. Pass that around to share that with people.